So there are tons of sourcing platforms in China, but which one is the right one for you? Well, I'm going to be breaking down every single one that I'm familiar with using my experience sourcing from China. And if you feel overwhelmed about all of these, I've made a cheat sheet PDF that you can download simply by clicking the description down below. Don't worry, it's free. First, I'm going to be starting off with the English international version of sourcing platforms. So I'm going to be selecting these three right here. The first one is Alibaba. Alibaba is actually great if you're a business and you're just starting out. Everything is in English. The pricing is fair. The customer service is okay, but they have a high MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity. So if you want to get samples, this may not be the platform you want to consider using. I also like that you can filter using customer protection as well as certifications that you need for your business. So for that reason, I'm going to be putting this in the A because it's great for getting started. And once you get used to it, you can actually make some money if you know what you're doing pretty easily and you have a customer service rep to help you there. Next is AliExpress. And this is also an international version of a platform that supports multiple languages, specifically English. It is great for drop shipping, like if you want to integrate your e-commerce store, Shopify, WooCommerce into this platform, you can do so quite easily and pretty much automate your business once you actually have a sales channel, marketing leads and all that. However, there are some protections in place, but the shipping times can be quite slow. They offer overseas shipping at very good pricing, and some of the platforms are actually very hard to get that good pricing, and this is one of them. However, it could take like 1 or 2 months for it to get to the customer, and you really can't customize many products here without doing a lot of work beforehand. So for that reason, I'm going to be giving this one a B because it's so friendly to use with e-commerce and drop shipping stores, and there are protections in place. But do note that there's lack branding if you want to add your own branding, and the shipping channels may take a long time for your customers. Next is Temu. Temu is a platform that was recently developed. Actually, the people that make Pinduoduo and Temu are the same. The only issue is that Temu is now all in English. It brings social buying into the market and it's quite new to the market. So for example, if you are familiar with Groupon, if you get a certain amount of people to sign up for a package, you can get cheaper pricing for everybody in that package. So I'm going to be giving this a C. The pricing is quite competitive, but it's really nothing compared to like AliExpress and all that. And I'll be going more into the pricing when it comes to the Chinese platforms. So that's how I would rank it for now. Of course, these can change in the future for international platforms. What about Chinese ones? First, we're going to go with one of the most known is 1688. This is an Alibaba. This is the domestic version of Alibaba. Same company, but one is tailored towards the Chinese market and the other one's tailored towards the overseas market. This is definitely the cheapest. I don't think I've met a platform or seen a platform that's cheaper than this. So I'll definitely rate this as this. If you know what you're doing, can really save on your profit margins greatly when it comes to the product pricing and the shipping pricing. However, it does not accept anything other than an Alipay link to a Chinese bank account or an Alipay tour card. If you have a Visa, MasterCard, anything like that, it won't work on this platform. It has decent pirate protection, but it has no shipping channel. So you need a shipping agent to get the goods from the factory to the shipping agent and from the shipping agent to your final destination. However, I'm still going to give this an A because of the pricing. If you compare the prices on all these platforms that you saw internationally to 168, I can guarantee you can find a supplier for 30 to 50% cheaper just buying directly on 1688. Now, of course, there are exceptions for stuff that's only sold overseas and not inside of the domestic Chinese market. But for the most cases, yeah, it's cheapest. So I'm giving that one an A. Next up is Taobao. Think of this as like the Amazon of China. What I like about Taobao is that you can actually purchase some goods with Visa or MasterCard. Sometimes they have shipping channels to ship it from China to overseas. So it's pretty much the same as 168, but the pricing is not as competitive. So I'm giving this a B. Note that both of these platforms are only in Chinese. So you need to learn how to use the interface, which I have tutorials for each of these. If you just download the PDF how-to cheat sheet in the description down below. But I'm giving this one a B. Now, Xianyu is a double-edged sword. This is Idlefish, Xianyu. Think of this as like the secondhand platform to buy products in China, where like you're not buying from a business, but you're buying from mainly individuals that just want to sell their used goods. With that being said, you can find great deals on here, but the customer protection is lacking. Because everything's in Chinese, and if you don't know how to do things properly on this website, if the time runs out, you're scammed. If you don't have a strong case to argue that you're being scammed, you're going to get scammed. You have to be very careful about the time limits, about when you can rebuttal a statement and stay on top of it. Otherwise, you're going to lose the money. So be very careful. You also need Chinese verification to be done on this. So if you don't have a Chinese ID card, it can be difficult. However, there are ways to overcome this once you verify your Alipay account, which I'll go into a separate video. But because it's so scam prone, and if they know you're a foreigner and you don't really know how to use the platform, I'm going to give this a D. However, you can find some great deals if you know what you're doing on this platform. Next up is Pinduoduo. Sometimes it takes a while to get cheap products. Note that there's two prices. One is if you buy it immediately. Another one is the price that if you find someone or two other people to buy the product with you. So this is the concept of social buying I was talking about earlier with Temu, where the platform will automatically find someone for you to buy the same product at a discounted rate, but it could take 2 to 3 days for the platform to actually find somebody, or they may not find somebody at all. It also doesn't have shipping channels, and you need to have a foreign bank card linked to your WeChat Pay, which can be kind of difficult, but of course it's possible to do. The UIs can be kind of confusing, but the pricing is quite attractive. It doesn't have shipping channels overseas, but again, with a freight forwarder, you can easily do that yourself. So I'm going to be giving this one a B for Pinduoduo. Next up, I have Weidian. Weidian is essentially a high-end clothing brand kind of platform to buy goods from. Now, there are no smart tools that you can use in this. Like in most of the other websites, you have reverse image search. You have AI to be able to find your products greatly. So you can just like snap a photo of a product you like and it will give you some recommendations. But Weidian doesn't really have that, and the filtering options are quite limited. So because of that, I'm going to be giving this one a C. You're kind of prone to scams here where people would claim they're selling an authentic product, but they don't have an authentication service. So then when you receive it, especially if you receive it overseas, it's too late and they'll scam you from the platform. Also note they don't have shipping channels, so you need to find a shipping channel yourself. Next up is Jingdong. Jingdong is essentially the electronics sourcing platform in China. Do realize that this is meant for the Chinese market, so you need to be very clear with the customer or with the seller that you need it in English or whatever language you need. Like if you're buying a brand new laptop, that you need it to be English interface, not Chinese interface, because buying it straight from the box most likely means it's coming from a Chinese Mandarin interface, and you want to avoid that. What I like about Jingdong is that it has good customer service and return policies. All the products there are authenticated, so the risk of you getting a fake product is very rare. And from my experience, has one of the fastest shipping times I've ever witnessed using a Chinese platform. What do I mean? You can purchase a product here in the morning and get it either by lunchtime or in the afternoon that same day. So if you're running a specific e-commerce platform that you need fast shipping times for the product to leave the factory to go to either the shipping warehouse or ship it directly overseas, the response times are quite quick, and for that reason, I'm going to be giving this one a B. Last but not least is Borderless Commerce. It's the website we have developed as a team to be able to integrate most of these platforms that you see on the screen into one, where you don't have to deal with WeChat Pay, you don't have to deal with Alipay. And if you're a business that really wants to increase your profit margins going directly to the source, it is highly recommended. So whether the product is on 168, Pinduoduo, or even Xianyu, you need to make custom orders. All that can be made on the Borderless Commerce website. Some people will say it's an F, and I think that's a little bit harsh, but I would give it at least a C or a B, maybe a C plus or a B minus right here. Because of the speed, it's something that I'm trying to improve on, because this is literally connecting to the servers inside of China. So there's a lot of traffic going in and out of China. So it could affect the speed. But other than that, from what my customers have told me, it gets the job done, that it can actually be convenient for them to buy goods directly from the source without playing the game of needing a passport or needing Alipay authenticated or WeChat, and being able to negotiate with the suppliers and actually make sure you get the right products inspected and shipped to the proper location. The platform also provides shipping services if needed for your business. So that pretty much sums up how I would rank the Chinese platforms for sourcing in China. And you might have frequently heard me say, hey, I don't have the right shipping channels or payment channels. You can check out this video on exactly how to get your personal freight forwarder step by step from getting your products from China to your home country, whether it's for your individual use or for your business.